Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of online work and, skill building by listening to this really interesting conversation between two friends, Robin and Ronica,
Okay.
about building a career online.
Cool.
And we have expert speaker here to help us break it all down.
Absolutely.
Ready to decode the future of work?
Let's do it.
Okay. So Robin just lost their job.
Oh, no.
Company they were working for went kaput.
Oh, wow.
And they're feeling a little lost, understandably.
Totally.
But their friend Ronica, instead of,
Right.
focusing on the negative,
Yeah.
jumps right into talking about all these
Oh, wow.
online opportunities.
And what's cool is, what's refreshing is that she doesn't just paint this rosy picture.
Yeah.
She actually gets into specifics.
Yeah.
Like she talks about how she transitioned from being a freelance graphic designer
Right.
on platforms like Fiverr,
Right.
like a global marketplace for freelance services, to a full-time remote position.
Wow.
And then Robin actually used Upwork, which is more of like a job board,
Okay.
but for freelancers,
Gotcha.
to land their first web design client.
Wow.
Someone in a totally different country.
Really?
Yeah. So it just really highlights the global reach and the potential of online work.
I mean, what struck me was how Robin, with zero tech background, was able to land
Right.
high-paying clients
Wow.
within a year.
That's amazing.
That's the power of,
Right.
online work, is you can fast track your career in ways that you just can't imagine in a traditional setting.
Yeah.
But it's not just about Robin's journey.
Right.
It's about the variety of online careers
Literally.
that they discuss. They
Yeah.
talk about everything from software development to graphic design, e-commerce,
Yeah.
even becoming a virtual assistant.
Yeah. What is that? I always think of someone getting coffee, but digitally or something.
Me too. But Ronica describes managing complex social media campaigns
Wow.
for CEOs, even handling their online finances.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot more demanding than people realize.
It really shows how the digital world is changing, what a job even is.
Yeah.
It's not just working from home. It's totally new
Yeah.
job categories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best part is they emphasize this. It's not about being good at everything. It's about finding that thing you're good at.
Yeah.
And you know where your interests are and sort of where
That sweet spot.
yeah, that sweet spot.
Yeah.
If you're a problem solver
Mm-hmm.
and you're good at technology, maybe software development or cybersecurity is for you.
Makes sense.
If you're creative, maybe design.
Yeah.
They even talk about these hybrid fields
Oh, interesting.
that blend technical and creative skills,
Okay.
like digital marketing or content creation.
So how common is that, this hybrid thing?
Yeah.
That's becoming so common these days.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost like the norm now. It's less about just being really good at one specific thing
Yeah.
and more about being good at lots of different things.
Right.
And being able to
Yeah.
learn new things and adapt.
Right. So not just specializing, but being well-rounded.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Learning new skills,
Mm-hmm.
especially in these tech fields,
Right.
takes
It takes time.
time.
Yeah.
They specifically talk about software development and how it could take 1 to 2 years to
Wow.
become really good at it.
That's a long time.
That's a commitment.
It is.
And Robin even expresses some hesitation about that.
Yeah, well,
Whoa.
yeah.
But then Veronica's no, but think of it as an investment.
Right.
You're building a house.
That's a good point.
You need the right tools, the right plan,
Yes.
and then you got to see it through.
And the persistence.
And the persistence, yes.
Yeah.
And speaking of the right tools, they both talk about using those online platforms like Upwork, freelancer.com, Fiverr
Yeah,
as
right.
ways to get started, to build experience.
Like a good place to start.
And make money.
Yeah.
And they even talk about this transition that a lot of people make
Oh, yeah.
from doing this project-based work
Right.
to then getting hired for a full-time remote position,
Yeah.
often with an agency.
So what are the pros and cons of those different?
Yeah, what's better? What do you think?
Well, I think it depends. It's
Okay.
choosing your own adventure.
Okay.
Project-based work is really good for
Yeah.
variety and flexibility.
Right. You get to try different things.
Exactly. And build your portfolio.
Right.
But it could be a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah.
Robin talks about how their income can be kind of
Right.
up and down.
Stressful.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so full-time offers more security.
Right. It's like a
Okay.
regular paycheck,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't get to choose your projects.
Right. Less freedom?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a trade-off.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like most things in life.
Right, exactly. And it depends on your personality.
Totally. Some people love the freedom.
Yep.
Some people need a little more structure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And speaking of freedom,
Okay.
Robin seemed a little hesitant about the whole work from home thing
Oh, really?
at first.
Okay.
But then Ronica jumps in with all the benefits.
Like what?
No commute,
Oh, yeah.
increased productivity,
Okay.
better work-life balance.
I mean, that no commute thing is huge.
I know. Imagine all that time and energy that you get back.
You could actually have breakfast with your family instead of rushing out the door.
Or like go to the gym or something.
Or do yoga.
Right.
Yeah.
But they also talk about the downsides, like burnout.
Yeah.
Because when your home is your office, how do you switch off?
And that's where Ronica's experience is really helpful.
Right.
Because she talks about how she learned to set boundaries, even when your commute is like 2 feet from your bed to your desk.
I like that,
Yeah.
2 feet.
Yeah.
But what really stood out to me was when she was talking about taking breaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to just keep working
I know.
when you don't have to like...
You get to the end of the day and you're like, wait, I didn't even get up.
Exactly.
I didn't even go outside.
It's like 5 o'clock and you haven't moved.
I know.
Yeah.
So she suggests like actually scheduling breaks throughout the day.
Oh, wow.
Like block out time for a walk.
Okay.
Or even just to eat lunch away from your computer.
What a concept.
I know, radical.
Yeah.
But it's about being intentional with your
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
and prioritizing your well-being.
Right.
Because, like she says,
What does she say?
you can't pour from an empty cup,
Oh, that's so true.
whether you're working from home or in a corporate office.
Right. It doesn't matter.
You have to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Non-negotiable.
Yes. I love that.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've talked about boundaries. We've talked
Yep.
about breaks.
Taking breaks.
But she also doesn't shy away from, like,
What's the hard stuff?
the hard stuff. Like
Yeah.
learning how to say no,
Oh, yeah.
which we can all relate to.
Especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah, you want to be nice. You want to please everybody.
Yeah. You don't want to say no.
You need the work.
You need the money.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's like, you have to set those boundaries. You
Right.
have to know your limits.
Because otherwise, you're going to get taken advantage of.
you're going to burn out.
You're going to burn out. Exactly.
Right. So we've talked about all these potential pitfalls
Okay.
of working remotely
Yeah.
and how to avoid them.
Mm.
But where do you even get started?
Right. Like, how do you find these jobs?
Yeah, where do you even begin?
Yeah.
That's a great question. And Robin actually asks that.
Okay.
And luckily, Ronica's got the answer.
What does she say?
She's like, just start small. Like maybe take on a couple of freelance projects
Right.
while you're still working your day job.
So kind of like dip your toe in.
Yeah, dip your toe in.
Okay.
Test the waters
I like it.
before you dive in head first.
Exactly. And that's where those platforms we talked about are helpful.
Right.
Upwork, Fiverr.
Yeah.
You can create a profile,
Yeah.
browse some projects.
See what's out there.
Yeah. And then as you start doing more,
Right.
you get good reviews, you get more experience.
Yeah.
Then you can raise your rates
Oh, that's a good point.
and charge more money.
Right. Because now you have the experience to back it up.
Exactly.
You're not just starting out anymore.
Right.
It's like leveling up in a video game.
I love that analogy.
But instead of virtual points, you're getting real world experience.
Yes. And building a reputation.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And speaking of building a reputation,
Yeah.
how do you go from this like project-based work
Right.
to a full-time gig?
Yeah. How do you land that dream job?
Right. What do you think?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to those soft skills.
Okay.
Like how well you communicate,
Mhm.
how good you are at managing your time,
Right.
managing clients.
Yeah.
And those are all things that you develop as a freelancer.
Right. Because you have to.
Exactly.
It's almost like freelancing is like training.
It's like boot camp
Yes.
for the workplace,
For the real world.
for the real world. Yes.
So you're learning all these valuable skills that then
right.
employers are looking for.
That they're going to want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's about being able to show those skills off
Right.
on your resume,
Mhm.
in your interviews.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I got this.
This is what I can do.
Look what I did.
Yeah.
Right.
Because those skills are valuable whether you're working remotely or not.
Totally.
They're just good to have.
So for our listeners out there,
Mhm.
what's the big takeaway?
What should they do with this information?
Yeah.
What do we want them to do?
What should they do? So we were talking about taking breaks and how important that is.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But Ronica also talks about this really important thing, which is
Hmm.
learning to say no.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
It is hard.
Especially when you're starting out.
Yeah, you want to please everyone.
You want the work.
Take every project.
You need the money.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
But she's like, You have to set those boundaries.
You really do.
You have to know your limits.
Otherwise, you'll get burnt out for sure.
And resentful.
Oh, yeah, you'll start hating it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we've talked about some of those potential pitfalls of working from home.
Okay.
And like how to set those boundaries
Here's
and how
what
to
we
take those breaks.
Yeah.
But like, how do you even find these online gigs?
Right. Where do you start?
Where do you even begin?
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
And Robin asks that exact question.
Okay, does Veronica have an answer?
She does.
Okay, good.
She's like, just start small.
Okay.
Like maybe take on a couple freelance projects
Right.
while you're still working your day job.
So you have that safety net.
Exactly. You're not like quitting your job
Right.
and then being like, oh no, now I have to find clients.
What have I done?
Right.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like testing the
You're
waters.
dipping your toes in.
Exactly.
I love that.
And that's where she says these platforms are really great,
Which ones?
like Upwork and Fiverr.
Okay. Yeah, those are good ones.
You can create a profile. You can browse projects.
See what's out there.
Yeah. And as you start taking on projects, you get more experience.
Right. You build your portfolio.
You get good reviews,
Right.
and then you can raise your rates.
Oh, that's a good point, because now you're not just a newbie.
Exactly.
You're not just starting out. You have the experience to back it up.
Right. You have proof that you're good at what you do.
Exactly. That's so key.
It's like leveling up in a video game.
Right. Except you're getting paid,
Exactly.
not just virtual points.
Real world experience
I like it.
and building that reputation.
So important.
So how do you go from like project-based work
Right.
to a full-time gig?
To like the dream job.
Yeah.
That's a good
What
question.
do you think?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to those soft skills.
Okay.
Like, how well do you communicate?
Mm-hmm.
How good are you at managing your time?
Right.
Managing clients,
Right.
meeting deadlines.
And those are all things that you learn
You learn by doing.
by freelancing.
Exactly.
So it's almost like freelancing is like training.
It's like boot camp
Yeah.
for the corporate world.
But even if you don't want to work in the corporate world,
Right.
just those essential skills.
Life skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you need to succeed
Totally.
no matter what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're learning these valuable skills.
Okay.
And then you can apply them
Right.
to whatever you want to do.
To your dream job.
Right. Whether it's remote or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's about showcasing those skills
Okay.
on your resume in your interviews. Show them what you got.
Yeah. Be like, this is what I can do.
I can handle it.
I'm organized. I'm reliable.
I got this.
I meet my deadlines. Look what I did.
Look what I can do.
Exactly.
So it seems like what Robin and Ronka are saying is
Yeah.
the traditional 9 to 5 office job
Yeah.
is not the only option.
Not anymore.
And it's not even the most appealing option anymore.
Right. And a lot of people don't even want that.
For a lot of people, it's like, I want to design my ideal day.
Totally.
Yeah.
I want freedom and flexibility.
Yeah, I want to be able to like live my life.
Work when I want. And also, like,
Basically.
have a life.
Yeah.
And I think what's so cool about Robin's story
What's cool about it?
is they didn't have this like master plan.
Right.
They didn't go to school for this.
Right. They just saw an opportunity.
They saw an opportunity and they were like,
I'm going to go for it.
I can figure this out.
That's awesome.
And they just dove in
I love that.
with this like curiosity and this attitude of like,
I can learn.
I can learn this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's all about.
What is it about?
It's about having that growth mindset,
Yeah.
being open to learning new things.
Yeah. Be adaptable.
Because the things you learn today might be valuable tomorrow.
Exactly.
Even if you don't know how yet.
Right. You never know what skills are going to be useful.
You just got to be open
Exactly.
to those possibilities.
Be a lifelong learner.
Be a lifelong learner.
Yes, I love that.
If they say, what do they say? The only constant is change.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And the job market is a perfect example.
Right? Things are changing so quickly.
But instead of fearing that change,
Yeah.
Ronica and Robin are like, embrace the change.
Let's go.
See the opportunity.
Yeah, ride the wave.
Ride the wave
Yes.
of this like digital disruption.
Exactly. Disruption can be a good thing.
It can be a good thing. It creates new opportunities.
Totally.
Yeah.
New possibilities.
So to wrap it all up, it seems like the future of work is
It's exciting.
exciting.
It's flexible.
Flexible, dynamic.
Full of potential.
But it's really up to you.
You got to make it happen.
You have to like seize those opportunities.
Take charge.
Be proactive.
Be brave.
Be a little bit brave.
A little bit brave. Yeah.
Because it's not going to be handed to you.
It's not going to just fall on your lap.
You have to go out there and create
It's
it.
got to hustle.
You got to hustle.
You got to make it happen.
So we've talked about
Yeah.
the good, the bad, and the fuzzy socks.
The fuzzy socks are key.
The fuzzy socks are key.
Gotta be comfy.
Gotta be comfy.
Yeah.
So as we head into part 3,
Yes.
we're gonna
What are we gonna do?
talk about what this actually looks like
Okay.
in practice.
I'm interested.
How do you actually make this happen?
Yeah. What do you do?
So stay tuned. So we were talking about how to make this whole online work thing a reality. And expert speaker, you've got tons of experience with this.
Yeah. I've been working remotely for a few years now.
So what advice would you give to someone who's listening to this and thinking, okay, this sounds great, but where do I even start?
Well, first of all, I'd say don't get overwhelmed.
Easier said than done.
I know, right? There's so much information out there, so many different paths you can take.
It's like analysis paralysis.
Exactly. You can spend all your time researching and planning and never actually take action.
So true.
So I'd say start by identifying your skills and interests.
Okay, that makes sense.
What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing?
And how do those things translate to the online world?
Exactly. And don't be afraid to think outside the box.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, sometimes the things you love doing in your free time can actually become viable career options online.
Give me an example.
Sure. Let's say you love playing video games.
Okay.
Did you know that there are actually people who make a living as video game testers or streamers?
No way. Get out of here.
I'm serious. And if you're into fashion, you could start a fashion blog or become a virtual stylist.
Wow, I never even thought of that.
The possibilities are endless. But here's the key. You have to be willing to put in the work.
Right. Nothing happens overnight.
Exactly. It takes time and effort to build a successful online career.
And you have to be okay with making mistakes along the way.
Oh, absolutely. Mistakes are part of the learning process.
So don't let the fear of failure hold you back.
Exactly. Embrace the unknown, be open to new experiences, and most importantly, believe in yourself.
I love that. So we've talked about identifying your skills and interests and being willing to put in the work, but what about the practicalities? Like, how do you actually find clients or customers online?
That's where those online platforms we talked about earlier come in handy.
Like Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer.com.
Exactly. They're great places to start building your portfolio and connecting with potential clients.
And don't forget about the power of social media.
Oh yeah, social media is huge. Create a professional profile on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, wherever your target audience hangs out online, and start sharing your work and connecting with people in your industry.
And networking events. Are those still a thing in the digital age?
Absolutely. But they might look a little different now.
How so?
Well, instead of stuffy conference halls, you might find yourself attending virtual summits or webinars or joining online communities related to your field.
So it's all about adapting to the digital landscape.
Exactly. The key is to put yourself out there, connect with people, and never stop learning and growing.
So to sum it all up for our listeners,
Yeah, let's bring it home.
the world of online work is vast and ever-changing, but it's also full of incredible opportunities.
Opportunities for freedom, flexibility, and creativity.
And the best part, you don't need anyone's permission to create your dream career.
You're in the driver's seat, so what are you waiting for?
Go out there and make it happen. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.